Welcome to another Mystery Monday. Today, I have a plea. I have an open letter to an author. If you want to hear what my open letter to Peter Swanson is, just stay tuned. Okay. Peter Swanson, I don't even know how to start with you. You are the author that confuses me the most, that brings the more anxiety and the most conflict to my life, because I love what you do. I love your books. In fact, I've read 4 of them, and I don't think I read any one of them in more than one sitting because they are that good. Okay? But here is my problem with you. I feel that you can benefit from education. I think you're going to be a better author if you educate yourself in a little few things. How about you educate yourself in Cancer? You educate yourself in toxic masculinity. You educate yourself in feminism. Last but not least, educate yourself in mental illness. Get it? Okay. Before I get that, I'll just start off by saying I've read 4 of his books. I will comment them all. And by the way, I have them all lined up already to read the other books that has been released that I haven't read yet. And I have already joined my library waitlist for Every Value Break, his next book that comes out next month in March. Go ahead and read them. Like, he is a good author. I don't want to steer people away from reading his books, and I'll just do a quick recap of the 4 books that I have read with no spoilers. I will review them all once I have finished the whole series, like not series, but all of his books. I have a video review on his books coming, soon. Not shortly, but soon. I've read Before She Knew Him, which was like a wonderful book. We have Han, which is our unreliable narrator. She moves to this new house and she's really sure her neighbor, Matthew, has killed someone. But here's a kicker. She's the girl who cried wolf. Her husband doesn't really believe her. The police doesn't really believe her. But guess who finds out she's onto him and believes her because it's true? It's Matthew. And this is not a spoiler. We know this off the bat. So then a real amazing game of cat and mouse ensues, and so on and so forth. And it focuses on their relationship and the mystery itself. Why is Matthew doing this? Is he going to get Hannah as well? Is some people going to believe her? That was fantastic. It was the first book I've read for him, and I really liked it. I have major issues with it, but as far as a book goes, amazing. And Han was fantastic. I have to give him that. The next book of his I read was Her Every Fear. Again, we do have Kate, and she is a British girl with a flat in London. She gets in touch with her long-lost cousin Corbin, and they decide, because of where their lives are and they really want a freeze late or just some time to get over things that have just happened to them, they swap apartments. So she moves to Boston, he moves to London, and they live in each other's flat, and they agree to do that for 6 months. As soon as Kate moves in, before she even settles, she finds out that a neighbor was murdered, and the police knocks on her door. And she starts to wonder, does my cousin have anything to do with this? Why is the police here knocking on this? How did that girl die? Why was she murdered? What's going on? And she's also an unreliable narrator. And it's a very interesting game because you don't know really if he has anything to do with that, and you see everything through Kate's point of view. She also suffers from mental illness. Next, I basically I read All the Beautiful Lies, which, you know, of all the books is the one that I was more meh about, but it was still a very good book. I read it in one sentence. It basically tells the story of Harry. He is just about to graduate from college, and before his graduation ceremony, his dad dies. He moves into his father's house and lives with his stepmother. Let's her call her Mrs. Robinson, but that's not her name. Then on his dad's funeral, he sees this very weird girl that has no place being there. He's never seen her, Grace, but seems like she knows her dad. So the book follows Harry as he deals with the aftermath of his dad's death, his relationship with his stepmother and Grace, as he tries to find out more things. So there's the relationship, each of these women just take turns and twists, and as he discovers things, his life is turned upside down. So it was a really good book, but again, I had some major issues with some aspects of it, and I'll go back to that now. Finally, as far as writing goes, his latest book that has been published, 8 Perfect Murders, was my favorite. His writing was fantastic. I am here from Malcolm, okay? He's our protagonist, and he owns a bookstore, and he is a delightful character. Delightful. I really, really liked Malcolm. He was witty and funny, and taking him on a journey, it is a very magnetic personality. And basically, years and years ago, he wrote a blog post about what he considers to be the literature 8 Perfect Murders. And the FBI knocks on his door because now in the present day, it seems like people around that area are dying in the fashion and in the order of the 8 Perfect Murders he highlighted. So, from the get-go, we know what those 8 books are, and the reader has a chance to read those books before reading 8 Perfect Murders, so it's not spoiled. So I'll give him that. That's exactly what I did. Most of those books I had already read, and the other ones that really interested me, I read before I read this book, because he really spoils them all. Like, to the core, he spoils all of those 8 books, so be warned. Was I okay with that? I mean, yes, I have my issues, but I'll leave that for my review. But I'm okay. But you know what I was not okay with that Peter Swanson on that book is how dirty you did my girl Agatha. How freaking dirty you did her. Like, seriously. There are 2 of her books. They are not mentioned anywhere, and when it's mentioned in this freaking book, it jumps straight to the spoilers. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Those are 2 of her most amazing books. She was basically the first person to use that twist, and she did it brilliantly, and he comes in here and spoils it. So people doesn't even go back to the OG. Yeah? Nah. Nah. That was not cool. I didn't like that. I really didn't like how it jumps right to the spoilery point of it all. And that's not very good sportsmanship, is it? No, it's not. How would you feel if I came in here and I just started every video by spoiling all of your books? I wouldn't do that. Why are you? Why are you doing my girl dirty? I don't get it. I don't understand why you did that. But that's for you and your conscience. So I'm just warning people, I'm not going to spoil his books. But do not read 8 Perfect Murders unless you have read every single book Agatha Christie has written up to 1941. Just be warned. More than one book that she wrote before 1941 will be spoiled without warning on this book. I'm not going to tell you what, because if I did, I would be spoiling this book, but just take it from me. Go read Agatha. And then read this book because it was really good. With all that being said, I will start this with the good news. What do I love the most about Peter Swanson? Peter, my dear Pete, what I love the most about you is the way that you write your books. They are enthralling, engaging, suspenseful. You are a master in building suspensing, in grabbing your reader by the hair, by the balls from the first page, and making it impossible for them to walk away until they know how it ends. You have some very good twists. Your instincts are amazing. And not all of them, but you really put a lot of love and care into your main protagonist. And out of every single book, there is at least one character that sticks with you for the right reasons. So that you do well. The way you write is a gift that not everyone does have, and you have it. So please stop wasting your gift. And I'll tell you what my problem is with books that you write. I've read 4 of them. In every single one, I've seen examples of these things that I'm going to mention. And that's 4 books read in every one. Okay? The main problem I have, actually they are all main problems. So I'll start with cancer. Cancer, honey, is not a plot device. I've noticed that someone in every one of your books, and in one of them 3 people died of cancer. Not only people, mostly, if not all, women. And they not only die of cancer, but you use cancer as a plot device to get rid of characters that you only needed for a chapter. So you have a chapter, like a character, that is not very interesting. It doesn't add a lot to the plot. You can't be bothered developing them. And then you just mention, oh no, they died of cancer. Or you use cancer as an excuse for them to do something immoral because they're going to die anyway. Like cancer, like the fact that you're going to die and you have cancer does not change your personality, just so you know. I can say something about that, okay? So please, stop using cancer as a plot device. And if you have been traumatized by having someone you love die of cancer, just contact me and I can give you some great resources and help you get through that. I'll even personally talk to you if you want. But yes, cancer is not a plot device. Stop slut shaming, please. And just so you know, women are not the root cause of all evil. In every single one of your books, you have your poor little guy, even if he is the one committing a crime, he is never to be blamed. He is actually a victim himself because a bad woman made him do that, right? Like, come on. Get your man to take responsibility for what they do. Sometimes people are just wicked. Not saying that women are not wicked. They are. But in some of your books, you even have like a man and a female, a male and a female commit the same thing. So the female commits something because she is pure evil. She has not a single good bone in her body. And she does this because she's despicable. But she did this to a man. And then this man does the same thing, worse than she did. But he's not bad, right? Because poor guy, she did it first, right? Come on. Come on. I would love to see one of your baddies be unapologetically bad and evil and not use a woman as an excuse. She made me do it. No, honey. No. There's many good women there, but I feel that you might have a problem with women because you always slut shaming. They're always cheater. They're always bad people. And they are always the reason why men do bad things. In all 4 books I read, there is an example of that. Stop justifying men. Please. I know that sometimes we are a product of our traumas, but not everybody that has been traumatized turns to murder. Or worse. Just saying. Which brings me to the last thing. Please, please. Your depiction of mental health and mental illness is so toxic. Stop using mental illness as a plot device. The way you use them is so stereotypical and so harmful to thousands of people that suffer with mental illnesses in the world. Okay, I'm not going to say more because then I'm going to spoil it, but just educate yourself in mental illness. Please don't use it as a reason why someone might be unreliable. And don't use it as other things that I know you know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, Pete, Mr. Swanson, that's what I had for you today. Okay, I needed to get that out of my chest. And I'm very conflicted. I don't know if I love to hate you, if I hate to love you, or I just love you. I know that I don't just hate you because I keep reading your books. But the way that I've managed to deal with that at the moment was to just read your books from the library on script. So I'm not necessarily getting my dollar on your books, and I don't have them on my shelves, but I can't stop reading them. In fact, I will read every value break as soon as it comes out. I know that for a fact. But I would love to have your books on my shelf because they are good, and I would love to recommend them more as I'm recommending them now. So here's my challenge for you. I need you to write 2 books in a row. Every value break might be one of them, who knows. But 2 books that in those 2 consecutive books, you do not slut shame, you do not depict women as the root cause of all evil. You don't use cancer as a plot device. You don't use a harmful, toxic depiction of mental health or mental illness. And you do not use justification for men's actions. That if the man happens to be the big bad wolf in your book, there is no excuse for him. I would like to see a man take responsibility for his actions. So if you do these things for 2 books in a row, I am vowing right now to buy all of your books in hardcover and have like a shelf just for you. Well, I don't know if all your books is going to fit in just one shelf, but I will buy your books in hardcover. Okay? And I'll buy an extra one of my favorite one and I'll donate it to someone. I'll give it as a giveaway. Just please, 2 books from you. Not using any of these tropes or toxic points that seem to be a constant in your books, and I would love you forever. Here I am helping you be a better writer. I mean, you are a wonderful writer. I just don't want to be angry with the books I read. I want to just love them. Okay? That's what I had for you. And for you peeps watching this book, let me know down below respectfully if you agree, disagree, what you love the most about Peter's books. Did you see the same thing I've seen in some of these books? Does that bother you, but you can look past? Does it not bother you at all? Did you not notice? Is it all in my head? Am I too critical, I guess? Or, well, I can't be critical over things that trigger me, but you know what I mean. Just let me know down below. Let's have a Peter Swanson description. I know he's loved by many people, so please tell me why you love him despite of these things. Okay? Think about it. Thank you, Pete, for being here with me. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, be the hummingbird.